Hey, hi friends. Happy Tuesday. Kind of can't believe we're in the third Tuesday of March. Like,
It's flying by.
it's flying by. I feel like
Mhm.
January lasted forever. February was just a blink, and I feel like March is going by quicker somehow. And I really think that's just the excitement of all the new things happening. Spring, which I feel like is like a natural season for us to feel excited and ready for new things and to be inspired. And so I just think that this month is moving and grooving, and it's been a really great month. Over in the Dream Team chat world, we've been talking about like tangible action steps for your business. So we started off with having join conversations.
Wait, wait. Fun fact
Okay.
about spring. You said
Okay.
it. Today's the first day of spring. Okay, while we're sharing this.
Not till 10:06, but yeah.
Didn't know that. Okay, well, this might be irrelevant then. But they said that the first day of spring just means that there's the same amount of daylight.
Yes.
I just learned that today.
Me too, on the news,
Yeah,
on the
I
Today
heard it
Show.
on the radio.
Yeah, because we're like in the
It's like
it's
right
like the
before the.
equator. We're like right in the middle, right?
Okay, yeah, sure. I don't know the science behind that, but it's like
Equinox.
now it's gonna get darker later and later until
What?
summer. Yeah.
That totally throws off my bedtime routine for my kids.
No, truly, blackout shades, here we come.
Yeah, truly. Yeah, it's like I always look forward to that.
Equinox. Did you say equinox?
I did after I said equator
Oh.
because they call it spring equinox. But isn't it because
Equator.
does
I
the
think she's
equator
making
move?
fun of
The equator doesn't move
no, the earth moves.
around the equator. No. Anyway, I can't
Listen,
believe this is
this
recorded
is
right now. Anyways,
we have to start over so we can delete this part.
it's fine.
No, it's fine.
It's totally good.
This is real
Okay.
life.
Yeah, this is called Scentsy science.
Yeah.
This is called girl science, and
Yeah.
we not doing well.
I failed science, so
Okay, except one of my customers works at NASA,
oh
so
shoot.
she actually is like
Pull
really
her
smart
up.
with
Pull her up on
science.
FaceTime.
Okay, let's ask her.
Yeah.
She actually
Phone a
knows about
friend.
Harry Potter stuff. Anyway, first week, back to it.
Yeah. Go
First
ahead.
week we did join combos.
Yep. Last week we did booking parties.
Yep. So important.
Yeah.
Like these are very meat and potatoes parts of your business that we do not want you guys to overlook. We want you guys to be doing these things in your business. Otherwise we wouldn't be spending our Tuesday nights training on them. We want to be very intentional about the things that we bring you, that it's not just like fluff and fun stuff, which fun stuff is good on your own time, right?
Yeah.
But when we're here to talk about building your business, we want it to be things that will actually build your business. So join combos, booking parties, and then tonight is follow-ups. Kind of feel like we talk about follow-ups a lot because they're so important. Because they're a huge part of our business that we need to be doing. A lot of consultants don't follow up, period. Like ever. They just don't follow up. That's not in their regular business practice. And maybe they'll like have a Scentsy combo with like their friends and their coworkers and their family and the people that they're comfortable with. But as far as like touching base with like customers, they don't do that. They don't follow up. If their customers are not reaching back out to them to order for orders, that's just it. That's the end of their relationship right there. And that's actually really scary
Yeah.
to think about because like if we start every month having to find completely new customers, our business is not going to grow in the way that we want it. And I would argue that it's probably just not going to grow because every month you're restarting, hoping the same friends, family, and coworkers order, and then trying to find new customers every single month because you're not following up. Our goal as consultants is to like wine and dine our customers and create this like super awesome experience and then provide value by checking in. Okay. Just posting on social media or having them in a group is not enough to constitute like a relationship with your customers. And that's what follow up does is it creates a relationship with your customers where they trust you to purchase Scentsy. They know you enough to trust your recommendation or to take their money, right? Like if you're following up with them and they're giving you their money to order something, they trust you. You are becoming something super valuable to them, and that's really important. And so we actually don't want anyone to think that they don't need to follow up, whether you're a hobbyist consultant just in it for your own stuff or you're building a business with Scentsy, you still need to be following up with the people who are spending money in your business on a very regular basis. Even if they're not ordering every single month, it's still your job as a consultant, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur to be creating those customer relationships and building them through one-on-one communication, which at a core is what follow-up is. So whether it's text message, phone call, email, messenger, it's one-on-one conversation. It's not a Facebook post. It's not you talking in your stories. It is literally one person to one person conversation. And it's so important in your business. It is a foundational piece of your business that if you do not do, your foundation is already off to a rocky start. And the fact that most consultants do not follow up is concerning. And we want to shift um, into prioritizing that we are following up and that we talk about it and that we are encouraging you guys to follow up. The same way that we kind of shifted our intentional focus to partying with you guys, we are shifting our intentional focus to join combos and to booking parties and then also to follow-ups. Okay. And so it's just really important that we do. It's important to know that like VIP customers make up like probably, I don't have the statistics in front of me, but like your VIP customers that you're following up with, building a relationship with, that they find value in, they probably make up like 70 to 90% of your business overall, right? Reordering with you, booking parties with you, doing Scentsy Club with you, ordering on those special launches, shopping the flash sale. Those are going to be customers that you've built a relationship with. And the best way to build a relationship is by following up. Okay. And following up should be Scentsy related, but it can also, and I think should also at times be not Scentsy related, just simply like, hey, how are things going? If you know, if you are growing that relationship, okay. If it's just like a random person, I say stick with Scentsy until you have more things to build off of, and that's completely okay too. Okay. We are not here to be everyone's best friend. We are here as a business owner. And so to be honest, like a lot of my follow-up conversations is strictly Scentsy because we have not moved past that. I don't know their kids' names. I don't know what they do for a living. They order off my site and then I follow up with them regularly, and that's okay. But the customers that I have then built connections with and gotten to know, I'm able to start implementing other conversations into that too. And so just know how important follow-ups are. And also know that like there will be many times that you are left on red, that you don't get a reply, but that doesn't mean that your follow-ups are falling on deaf ears. Okay. People are busy. I don't reply to every single message I get. But I still value the time and the effort. Okay. People are going to shop with who makes it easy. And so if you are providing them information, whether it's like launch information, discontinued lists, that you're closing a local order, your website link, a flash sale, that is valuable information that tells your customers how they can shop with you. If you are not doing that, then what becomes easier is shopping at Target and grabbing that wax bar from the bin, or shopping at Walmart and grabbing that wax bar from the bin. That becomes valuable to your customers or to the people in your network because it's easier and they know exactly how to get it and it's right there. So we want to eliminate that by being in their business, by messaging them, by giving them information, by giving them ways like calls to action, right? Let me know if you need anything. Here's my link to shop. This is what's happening. That makes it easier for them to shop. Okay. And then you add in the whole connection piece where they know you, they like you, they trust you. They're not going to want to buy those bars at Walmart or Target or even at the craft fair where they see another Scentsy consultant. They're going to want to be loyal to you because of the value that you've poured into them. Okay. So just know there are many, many times where I'm following up and I look back at our messages and I've literally sent them like 6 messages in a row, literally 6 messages over the span of a year, right? Like it'll be 6 messages and then I send that one and then they order. And then it starts over again. Hey, thank you so much for your order. And they like it. They don't even reply. So it's like, okay, so you're not replying to me, but you are seeing my messages. You're clicking on my link and you're ordering. That's totally fine. Like I know that my follow-ups are still landing. And people don't need Scentsy every single month that you're messaging them or every 2 months. So it's literally just coming in at the right time, and then they trust you because you're consistent. And so again, we could tattoo consistency on our foreheads because it is so important to be consistent, even with follow-ups, even when you're not getting replies. Okay. So to me, that's why follow-ups are so important. I will die on that hill. I think it's, if you are not doing follow-ups regularly in your business, you're doing your business a huge disservice, and it's something that you need to pick up immediately.
Yep.
Yep.
And going back to what she said about being consistent in your follow-ups and doing it even without a response, because that one time that they order is worth it, right? It's like, oh, I'm so glad I sent that message because they responded in a way that with an action that you wanted. Okay. And I want to kind of just for a brief moment link that to our social media. Okay. One of the biggest complaints or issues that I hear people having is that they post on social media and it's crickets, right? Just talking to one of my leaders the other day, she was saying, I posted my VIP group and it's like crickets, nobody's responding. And I'm like, listen, we are not posting in our social medias for likes and comments.
Mhm.
I could care less about a like or a comment in my VIP group. What I'm looking for is PRV. What I'm looking for is sales. Okay. Likes and comments, not paying my bills.
I'm sorry.
Bless you. So same thing with your follow-ups. Okay. I don't need you to respond and say, okay, I'm going to go look at your link right now. I need you to click on that link and go shop.
Yep.
Okay. You don't need to respond to me. And if you're not going to do that, then it's okay that you're not going to do that. Like, I appreciate a response. I don't like being left on red as much as the next person, but truly, like, it is okay if it's just not a good time. And then the other thing that I wanted to connect on was, just like there are hobbyist consultants, there are hobbyist customers. Okay, so there are
So
people who use Sense. Like, I have some customers who only buy Scentsy during certain seasons
Yeah.
of the year, right? And then they ghost me. They don't even say like, "Hey, I only warm Scentsy during the winter." It's like they just ghost me the other 7 months of the year,
Yeah.
and it's like cool, And it's like those are hobbyist customers,
Yep.
and so we have to treat them as such and still put in the effort, right? Same with the hobbyist consultants that you may have contact with on your team or just in this business. We still want to have connection with them, right? We still want to let them know, hey, we're here. If you need us, if you whatever for that connection part of it. But we're not just ghosting them, or we're not just not reaching out to them because they didn't respond to the last 3 messages. Okay, so just connect those two things in your mind, because it's a lot of the same things happening in both areas of our business, both on the consultant side and on the business team building side. Okay, so just connect that in your mind and know that it's normal. Okay, everybody who is doing this goes through the same thing. But Alex is absolutely right. There are so many consultants who do not follow up, and not just in Scentsy, right? Like, literally, I order from a specific direct sales company pretty frequently, and I don't have a consultant to order from necessarily. And so I'll just go on the site and pick a consultant and order from them. I have never, not once, heard anything from any
Yep.
consultant I've ever ordered from.
That's been my experience too.
And it's like, wow,
Yep.
that's, we look at it differently because we're on this side of it, but I want you to think about how that feels to be on the consumer side, right? And so how important, like, literally, I would order that product probably 5 times more if
Right.
I had
And like
somebody
maybe
reaching
even
out to
shout them
me.
out and like talk
Yeah,
about it,
tagging them in my social
Yep.
media. Like, people are missing the mark. And so you need to think that that customer that you haven't followed up with yet could be the one who wants to do a party with you, or whatever. And so, and then also going back to like the following up part and trying to find new customers every month because you're not following up. It's like, imagine the work and the time and effort you put into like having a party with a customer, right? And then you do this party and you wine and dine the customers that are there and your consultant or your party host, and then as soon as it's all over, they never hear from you. Like,
Yeah.
you
It's
did
like
all that
a
work.
waste of your time at that point.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like, cool, you got the instant gratification of the PRV from the party, but you're missing out on the potential residual PRV. And it's just not, retention is important.
Yeah.
You're not going to retain all of your customers, but the statistic is that, oh, I just missed it, but a lot, I don't remember the number, but a lot of customers will reorder within 7 days of receiving their order.
Yeah, it was like a high percent, like over 50%,
I
I
think it was
think.
like
Yeah, I
70%.
think it was 70, and then it said like 90% would reorder within, who was at World Tour? It was the stats shared at World Tour. 90% would reorder within 2 months with follow-up.
Mhm.
And it also, there was also like stats with like joining
Yeah,
soon after, like new customers joining. And so it's like we really are missing the mark by not having conversations.
not having conversations and not asking.
Yep.
So that leads me into my little talking point tonight about following up. And that's kind of just like the how to follow up. And she kind of touched on some areas. And the big thing that I just want to preface with is just like it is the intentionality of just starting the conversation or just reaching out, right? So no matter how you do it, no matter what system you use, again, it goes back to the consistency thing. And keep in mind, consistency does not mean daily. Okay. We're not talking about consistency being like this stringent every Tuesday I'm following up. It's great if you have a system like that, but truly consistency is anything that you can do on a regular basis and it's a habit. Okay. And so you get to decide what that consistency part looks like. So truly there's no excuse. If your follow-up method is I'm following up, you know, twice in 1 week with, and I'm setting aside 20 minutes on Tuesday and Wednesday, and I'm following up for 40 minutes every 2 weeks. That's great. That's great. That's your level of consistency. But you have to figure out what that is and you have to do it. Okay. And so there are different ways that you can follow up in terms of like systems that you use. Obviously, we're aware that there is going to be a really amazing Sensi app coming this summer that's going to give us a lot of really awesome tools to help us get into this rhythm of following up, like literally like notifications like hey it's time to follow up with these people, like that's going to be really great. But if you don't get in the habit of making that a priority, it's real easy to swipe away a notification or it's real easy to silence the app, okay, and ignore it. But if you have trained yourself to say hey on this day or it's time for me to follow up this week, oh I have 15 minutes, let me sit down and knock out some follow-ups, then you're going to already be in that rhythm when that app comes out, and it's going to serve a great purpose in your business to already have that system in place. Okay, so right now we don't have an app. And so again, tons of different ways to follow up. I hate to overwhelm you guys. And I really do want Chantel to be able to share a little bit about how she follows up. But I can tell you both me and Alex use the reporting report
The
that
sales
does report.
report.
Thank you. It's the reorder report, and so you are able to um, detail the time frame in which you are looking back at your customers and the length of time that they have ordered, and all the information is right there. And you can go and you can click on. Well, we can click on because we have Max. The phone number and just like type out the message right then and there, which I love doing. You can also print out that thing and then sit in the pickup line. Somebody did a training recently and they said that they print that out and then they keep it in their car and they have a highlighter, and in the pickup line every day they just go through and they just follow up with people and highlight it. And it's like, man, yeah, where could you do that at? Pickup line, sports practices, things like that, where you're just like, where you would be mindlessly scrolling on your phone,
Right.
take 15 minutes and just knock out some follow ups, right? Another way to do it is looking at your orders tab, right? Go through your orders tab, order history. You can go back months on that thing and go through and follow up with people. And right then and there, you can see when their order was delivered. And so that's the easiest way. That's the easiest point of contact. And truly, especially with people who haven't ordered that long ago, it's a good way for me to ask a question that prompts a response. Hey, thanks again for ordering so much, or thank you so much again for ordering. Did you get your order? Did you get your wax that you ordered? It says it was delivered on this day, right? And that's a follow up.
Yep.
That's a follow up. Were you happy with everything? Did it arrive okay? Do you like the smells? Cool. Okay, moving on, and that prompts a response. And that's a very easy conversation to have because people are grateful that there's somebody who's checking in and making sure, hey, I got my stuff. Yeah, cool. And you're not asking for more money. But typically what ends up happening is they're like, yeah, I really love this scent. Can I actually get 3 more bars of it?
Mhm.
You know, typically that's the response that I get. And that's
Yep.
really great. So going back to your order history, going through there. Back in the day, I don't know if anybody still does this here, but back in the day, we used to have a follow-up log, right? Where we did the order forms and we had stickers, and all of this was like her throwback, but like
Truly.
stickers, and it was like we did the 113, and it was 1 week after they ordered, 1 month after they ordered, and then 3 months after they ordered. And we would go and we would write the day that we followed up on the sticker, and it had, 1 week, and we would write the date and then that do a little checkbox. Okay. And then we would start all over and go back and do 1 month, and we'd have them all in order. It's a great way to do it if you
Yep.
like pen and paper. Okay. Um,
Our fancy new contacts tab is
yeah,
really great.
contacts tab. Yeah. Sometimes I just go through my contacts tab, or what I've done on my phone, what I've been doing since like the beginning of time with my Scentsy customers is I add an emoji, one emoji, the same emoji to all of my Scentsy customers. So if
Oh,
they're a
that's
Scentsy
smart.
customer, in their notes, it says underneath their names, it says Scentsy customer, and then it has like a plant emoji. Okay. So then when you go into your search bar up here, I can just put in that plant emoji, and it's going to pull up every single one of my customers who has, oh gosh, watch me call people. It has that plant emoji.
That's smart.
So then I can just go to my contacts in here and I can just do that, and I can follow up with my customers that way because I have 99% of my customers' phone numbers, right? So I can do that. I just totally blanked. What ways am I missing now? Emails. Emails to me are a way to follow up. Some weeks I fall short on the actual one-on-one communication. I am
Mhm.
super consistent in my VIP group, but some weeks I don't. I don't have the energy to be left on red. And sometimes it be like that, right? But I know every single week I'm sending an email. Okay, so every single week, if they are not on my social medias, on my VIP or on my Instagram, they are hearing from me. I don't recommend that be your only way of follow up.
Same.
Okay. I don't think that that is smart because that's not building personal connection. You can pour your life into an email, but you don't know if somebody's seeing it, right? Could go into their junk. They
It's
could,
similar to like social media posts, I feel like.
yeah, truly. People could be missing, ignoring, not paying attention to, not scrolling. Like there's 1,000 ways that people could be missing your social media post or seeing it and scrolling right on by, right? Which is fine. Like I said, the likes and comments don't pay for nothing. But it's really hard to ignore a text message. People can forget about a text message. People can read it and be like, oh, no, I'm good, and not respond. But like, at least it was delivered,
Yeah.
right? And at least they have an easy way to get back to you should it cross their mind.
Yep.
So if they read it, they can just be like, oh, yeah, because they're in their text messages all the time, right? So I don't recommend emails being your only form of follow up. It is a supplement to my follow ups.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm being completely transparent with you and saying that I don't follow up every single week, which I think that you should. But I know that life gets crazy. And even for my own self, it's not something that I am super diligent about every single week. But you can bet your bottom dollar that I follow up at least 2 to 3 times a month with
Yep.
my customers. And I'm sending emails on a weekly basis. And I'm super consistent on social media. So all that together, I feel comfortable, and my PRV be rocking.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm not lacking in those areas. But if you feel like your PRV is lacking and you're telling me that you haven't followed up in 3 weeks, then we have a problem, right? You have to connect the dots, and it goes back to like, where's the gap, right? So if you're like, my PRV is not PRVing, and I post on social media once or twice a day, I'm in my VIP group all day long, but you're not reaching out to your customers on a one-on-one basis, that's
That's
your
the gap.
problem.
Yep.
That's the gap. Okay. And like Michelle says, she does all the things. That's awesome. And you know what? Sometimes the PRV don't be PRVing even when you're trying, right? Some months be slower than others.
Yep.
Some months you just be left on red all the time. And that just happens. But like, if you can go back and you say, I've done this, I've been consistent about this, I did this, I did this. Sometimes that's just the way it is.
Yep.
But we're talking about the lack of action, right? We're talking about getting in the habit of follow-ups if you're not already in that habit, because it is such a key part of your business. Um, but again, don't wait for this. Do not wait for the app this summer, but there is an app coming that will, if you are a person who's like, well, man, I just forget, or you know, it feels so difficult to get on the workstation or to do this or to do that. Okay, I hear you, but you still need to do it
Mhm.
on some level. And then during the summer, we're going to have an app that will be, there will be no excuse. No excuse. Okay. It's even going to be better than the Amy app. So I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, love that. Um, and Bree mentioned like quite a bit about like PRV, not PRVing. But the truth is, though, following up is actually one of the most fruitful ways to get those small wins. Because, like, if you spend a few minutes every day following up, you will get some orders. The likelihood of you getting orders is good, and it feels really good to, spend 15, 30 minutes following up and nobody, I'm on my training. Sorry. Um, you actually do get those small wins. You do get
Yeah.
customers like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
actually need something." And then you're taking an order and sealing the deal on a sale, and that feels so good. And sometimes that's all the pep in your step that you need to just totally revitalize yourself and get you pumped up for the next bit in your business. And so I want to really encourage you guys, if you aren't following up, to do that. Chantel is going to come on here in just a few minutes and share how she does her follow-up systems, but I just want to share a bit of like verbiage because sometimes I feel like that's where people struggle,
Mhm.
or they say that they're doing follow-ups but they're not really getting much from it. And so sometimes I like to say like, well, what are you sending? Like, show me what you're sending. And then there are like small tweaks that you can make that make a big difference. And so some things Bree touched on, like asking questions. So how are you liking your order? Did you get your order okay? Also, I like to ask, like, what's your favorite scent? Did you find any new favorites? Right? What did you think of Bonfire Beach? Things like that. Did you get the mail I sent you? Right? Did you see this? I think that you would like this, right? Asking questions really encourages a reply. So I want to encourage you guys in your follow-ups to ask questions that encourage a reply. But for me personally, when I'm sending follow-up messages, I like to give them all the information at once. I don't like to do a bunch of back and forth, like, hey, how are things going? Good. How are you? Good. Did you get your order? Yeah or no? Um, Kristen, want to say hi to my friends? Okay, now go. I like to give them all the information, like, hey Susan, this is Alex with Sensi. Just wanted to make sure you got your order okay. Do you have any new favorites? Also, we just launched our new spring and summer catalog. It is so amazing. I have an order closing on Friday. If you need anything, I'll send the link so you can browse. Let me know if you have any questions, or let me know if you want anything. I'll add it on my end, right? So these are no, no. So this is me giving them the information, asking questions, giving them a call to action by, or like offering something like, I have an order closing. If they're local. If they're not local, I'll say, I send a free gift with every order in the mail, right? It's encouraging them to order. And it's giving them all the information and asking a question all at once. And then I send the link with my message because, frankly, if you're not going to reply, that's fine. But I want you to have an updated link on where you can go to shop. And so I like to give all that information at once. That way I can move on to the next message with no strings left untied. Okay. Like, I just like tied that whole little message up in a bow, sent it out. It's everything they need. If they want to reply, we can have a conversation. But if not, I'm happy with what I sent because it gives them all the information. I'm connecting with them, asking questions, letting them know what's new, offering something, and giving them the opportunity to reply with an order or shop my site. To me, that's a very well-rounded follow-up. Okay.
And that's really nice for when you like, because sometimes it's like I just want to do these follow-ups and I'm really not in the mood to be like talky.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't love that. So giving them all the information and not doing the back and forth really helps to alleviate that like that stress of like having to have small talk with somebody for an hour to get to the point, right? I want to add onto the verbiage part is if you use boards, something that I have done recently is take like I on a creative day or on a day where I'm doing follow-ups is I will create what I want to say, the meat and potatoes of what I want to say, and I will create a text in my boards, and I have like a follow-up boards
Mhm.
thing, and I'll put it in there. And so then when I'm like, I just want to run through these follow-ups, I can just pull up the board's keyboard and copy paste and I'm done,
Yep.
right? So I'm not having to like retype the message or go back and copy and paste or whatever.
Mhm.
It's just in my Boards app. But if you don't use Boards app, you can do the same thing in your notes,
Yep.
right? You go into your notes, create some verbiage, different verbiage, right? So it's different every few times or whatever, and create different ways to follow up. Even in my Boards app, I have like, hey, did you get your order? Or
Mm.
I have a thank you for party orders, right? So like, hey, thanks so much for ordering from blank's party. Let me know when you get it, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Okay. So I have like different messages that I send. PWS orders. Thank you
Yep.
so much for your order. This is Brianna from Sensi, blah, blah, blah. I have all those messages. So I can just really quickly. I think that part of making something a habit is making it easy.
Totally.
And you can learn about that with James
Clear.
Clear's book, Atomic Habits. If you have not read it, I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite books. And he talks about like making the habits that you want to solidify as easy as possible.
Yep.
Like the gym, I've learned to like put my stuff out that I'm gonna wear. And it's
Yeah.
like right by my bed. And
Yeah.
it makes it so
Take the
easy.
dread out of it by making it simple. And like there's this
Yes.
quote, it says, "Do something today that will help your tomorrow."
Yeah.
And so it's
So good.
like just do the work
Yeah.
so it's easier for you later. And like I think I apply that to like emptying the dishwasher even. So
Yeah.
it's like I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do this now so I'm not dreading it later with the sink full of dishes,
Yeah.
right? So it's the same thing with your business. Type up the message now so you can then 30 minutes from now go sit on the couch watching your show, and every commercial break you're sending out the messages. This also works really well like flash sales,
Yeah.
Harry Potter launches, right? So go type out this Harry Potter message with all the information and then go run a report with your Harry Potter people, print it, and then go sit on your couch and
Yeah.
just send out those messages,
Yeah.
right? So it's like and Bree's mentioned this, but it's like pairing these
Yeah.
mundane tasks that you actually don't really enjoy with something that you do enjoy. So it's like a reward
In the midst of the
and
action.
right.
Yeah.
So like watching your favorite show and sending out follow-ups on commercials
Yeah.
or ads,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Or like what we like to do is like when we're creating emails, we'll get on Zoom and talk to each other,
Yep.
And so it's like, yeah, definitely pairing those things not only makes it go by faster, but it also takes your brain off of like the idea of like, oh my gosh,
Like, oh, I don't want to sit down and do
yeah,
30 minutes of follow-up. But it's like actually, if you're watching your hour-long show, doing it during the ads,
you might end up doing more.
right. And it's like it just feels so good because you're
Yeah.
still relaxing. And then again, like side note is like that's a really amazing time to like snap a selfie and later on post one of the perks of being a Sensi consultant, right? Because like our job is actually really attractive if you think about it, the ways that we can fit it into our everyday life. And so remembering to also share that
Yeah.
too,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so that's, a side note, but it really is one of the beautiful things that in our business is like, yes, we have like roll your sleeves up work to do in our business, but it's done on our pace, on our time, and we can make it work for us in a way that's really beautiful. And so I actually really love that. And I love that, simplicity is a core value of Sensi. And so simplifying these tasks that are needed and necessary to growing, but simplifying them in a way that it's tangible and manageable and not dreadful at all, that's going to be key to being consistent with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And doing some of the work on the front end. Well, and this is like true for follow up, right? It's like doing the work of the follow up on the front end so that on the back end you have customers who are uh you're retaining customers that are loyal, you're building relationships, you're getting more PRV. Like all of those things happen on the back end, but the front end requires you to come up with the verbiage,
Yep.
take the time to sit down and do it, send those messages, maybe have some small talk, like being attentive to those details.
Yep.
Rewards you in the end.
Yep.
Sending out emails, yeah, take some time to create the emails and do all that, but the back end of it is the PRV and the people getting the emails and that part of the business being done.
Yep.
And so it's just the preparation and the actual doing.
Yep. And then also remember is that like join conversations happen in follow-ups.
Yeah. And booking parties.
Cincy Club conversations happen in follow-ups. Booking
getting there.
parties happen in follow-ups. It's okay. I love the
Skip
excitement.
ahead.
All of that stuff. Like if you never follow up and you never talk to your customers and all of a sudden you're like, hey girl, have you thought about joining my team? It's $35 this month. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. I
You
haven't talked to
know?
you since I ordered
Like
January.
literally I ordered 6 months ago and I've heard nothing from you and now you're trying to get me to join your team. It doesn't work that way,
Yeah.
right? So it's going to be like follow up, follow up, follow up. Hey, I was thinking, you would probably love being a consultant, right? It's just that extra depth to our business that truly sets us apart.
Yeah.
It sets us apart and gets people coming back to us. And that's why, I have customers that I've literally shopped with or who have shopped with me for almost 9 years, still to this day. That's why we have customers that call us and say, hey, I was at a craft fair and I smelled this scent. I need to order it. They didn't buy it. They called me to order it, right? That comes from building those relationships with conversation over time. So I really want to encourage you guys to step into follow-ups with confidence, okay? And then we are going to hear from Miss Top 50 herself. Chantel Bryan is such a gem. We are so lucky to have her in our organization. She just earned a top 50 trip for her and her husband to Bora Bora this December. Like, talk about bucket list, okay?
Yeah. Listen, if Brad can't go because of work,
Yeah, like
I'm free.
I'll quit Cincy
Yeah.
and go with you. Kidding. I wouldn't, but it would be tempting.
I would.
It would be
I'd
tempting.
consider it.
Yeah. You guys, I
like how we can't see her face, so it's like, are you laughing?
Yeah, are
or
you
do hate
there?
us now?
It's like, man, these girls annoy the heck out
I
of me.
know.
And she like logs off from the city.
Where'd she go?
Okay.
Oh, there.
Okay. She is laughing. Okay. So, okay. When we
At
were
us, not
talking
with
about,
us.
yeah, truly. When we were talking about follow-ups, I'm like, I gotta get Chantel in here because like whatever she's doing, we need to be doing. So, Chantel, we want to hear from you. How are you following up these days?
So I don't follow up. No, I'm just kidding.
Plot twist.
Okay, ending meeting.
No, follow up is like my biggest thing. I am huge into it. I feel like that's obviously kind of one of the parts as to where I am now. But also, like, I'll be honest, I have ordered from other direct sales companies, and when I don't hear a response from them, it actually upsets me. Like, I get a little upset. I'm like, okay, well, I just spent my leftover $24 to buy something from you, and you didn't even have the time to send me a quick text and say thanks. So I kind of replay that into the customers that purchase off of me. So I like to make sure that I'm definitely giving a customer what I would want myself. So one of the things like that I try to do is I try to make it personal as possible, because you don't want to sound robotic. Nobody likes a robot text coming in or whatnot. So I do try to make it personal. And whether or not the personal is like, you don't need to go into details or anything, but if you're not one that says, hey, girl, don't start your text message like that. If you're not somebody that starts off, hey, like, I don't know, just make sure that your verbiage matches you. Because the last thing somebody wants is them to feel like a generic person. Another thing that I try to be sure to do, and copying pasting is amazing. Boards is amazing. I love it. I use it all the time. We are all human. I've done it myself. I hate it when I do it. When you copy and paste, make sure not to put somebody else's name in there. I've done it before. And I've had people do it too. And it's really kind of annoying when I like if I get that message. So I'm really trying to be on it with that. So I always make sure that it's either generic to the point that it doesn't have a name if I'm copying and pasting, or it's personal enough to make it sound like me. I treat every order the same, whether it's a $25 order or it's a $150 order. I treat them all the same. So I basically what that means is I treat them the same in my reach out, because that $25 order could have been all they had from their paycheck and they're spending it with me and my business. So I'm going to be very appreciative of that. $150 order, yeah, that's amazing and that's great PRV and I love it. But either way, a customer is a customer, a relationship is a relationship. It doesn't matter how much or how little they spend. I follow up with everybody. So whether it's a party, it's Facebook, it's events, doesn't matter. I follow up with every single person. When I do vendor events, I have them fill out that giveaway form, and that is key to me because then what I do is later on that day or the next day, I send out a text message and say, hey, this is Chantel from blah, blah, blah. It was so great to meet you yesterday. If they bought something, I say, I hope you're liking it if you've used it, or when you do go to use it, let me know what you think of it. If they didn't buy anything, I still say thank you for stopping out because it means so much and I love meeting new people. If you want to stay in touch, which I hope you do, here's my VIP page. Feel free to join it. Bam, just like that. But you know what? I followed up. And then I also send on just a regular envelope, non-machinery stamp. If people purchased at a vendor event, I send them a handwritten thank you note, just like I do for my PWS, and I send them a scent circle. Scent circles I get with my host rewards, so it's nothing out of my pocket most of the time, unless I go a little haywire and I spend all my host rewards on me. Then I'll buy some out of pocket. But I do that for vendor events too, not just PWS orders. So I just treat every order the same, every purchase the same, every person I come in contact with, I treat the same. My basic thing with doing my follow-up is I thank, letter, follow. That's what I go with. So I send a text message to thank them, I handwrite a letter, and then I follow up. Those are my three main things: thank, letter, follow. And then a couple of months later, a couple of weeks later, however long you want to, reach back out to them. It's definitely good to reach out to them, especially if it's been a little bit or you have a new catalog or something that they like is going away or anything like that. It's always good to reach back out down the road. I myself, and not everybody may agree with this, but I try not to hammer text. So I did a party for somebody, and no joke, this girl texts me a new goal 2 to 3 times every week. Drives me nuts. Hate it. Please don't be that person. So when you follow up, just make sure that you have true intention of follow up to see that they like it. Because if they like it, they're going to come back to you. If they don't like it, they're not going to come back to you, and you need to figure out how to fix that. So follow up with true intention. Don't try to keep following up just for PRV, 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 because those people aren't going to stick with you. I can tell you that right now. So that's kind of my Tootsie Roll of a follow-up system, I guess. But the big thing is the thank, letter, follow. So hopefully that helps.
Yes, that was so good.
I have questions. When you say letter,
Yeah,
we're not talking about like a hardcore, like,
I do.
no, you don't.
I
You write
do.
the entire letter? Or like,
I handwrite every single letter.
no, okay. Define letter though.
Like
Like a
not
full
like a
page,
book.
like
Not
a few
like a book.
sentences.
Give me an
So like I have this, I made it on
pen.
Shutterfly. And it's a notepad, and I just write, hey Sally, thank you for your order. I hope you love it. Hope to stay in touch. Let me know what you think if you don't hear from me before then. That's it.
Okay. All right.
So it's not like a book, but it's something.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Like yes, I love Shutterfly. I tell like my team all the time, get like thank you notes from Dollar Tree. Heck, take your printer paper, cut it into 4 squares, and just stick in a fun little note. To me, it's those personal touches that make things a lot more better. And if I were to receive that from somebody that I purchased from, I feel like that would make a little bit more of a connection. So I do the handwritten notes, not letters.
Yeah.
Because I was like, girl, if you be sending letters, no wonder you in the top 50. Like, I can't.
Notes, not letters.
Yeah. But like a handwritten note
Yeah.
does go so far.
Really, yeah.
And I love that you have like a system, you thank them, you send them mail, and then you're following up with them. I think like that is a perfect example of like a system for it.
And I'm not perfect on my timing. I used to have every Tuesday, Wednesday, I would do my notes in my Happy Mail and then I would mail it on Thursday, that's gone out the window.
Yep.
Just do what you can do. I mean, truly, that's what it is. Make a point to do it. And I'm old school, so I don't use the reporting tab a lot. I did take the class on it though. I'm like certified on that thing now. So I did do that, but I'm still old school and I do pen and paper.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but I leave it on my desk. So when I log in for work, it's right there. And I'm not going to lie, if I'm on hold with an operator for a hospital trying to verify about a member or something, I'll start writing my notes.
Mm,
Smart.
So squeeze it in when you can.
right.
I love that.
Yep. And
Yeah.
Tiffany even said, as a former customer, the handwritten notes every now and then felt so heartwarming. And it does, you know?
You are
It's so sad to me that so many people don't follow up.
Yes.
Like from other companies, like people that don't follow up, they either follow up or they hammer text you. One of the two. There's no in between. So
Yep. Yeah, and I think honestly, like that sets us apart as Cincy consultants as well. As I think, like at the core, we have this like upon etiquette that like we're not cold messaging people, we're
right.
not being annoying, we're a product that people want. And so all of that's really attractive. So knowing what to do with that can really go a really long way in your business. And so that's encouraging to me. And hopefully it's to you guys as well that like you can absolutely fit follow-ups into your business without being spammy or salesy
Yeah.
or icky.
Mhm.
And instead be very appreciated for that.
Well,
And
you
it
gotta
makes.
Sorry.
Oops, sorry, sorry, Bree.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
I was just gonna say it makes such a difference. Like I did a vendor event this past Saturday, and I had 6 or 7 of my people that are on my VIP page, and I felt so bad because I didn't recognize a few of them. But they knew me and they brought a friend and they introduced and they were telling them about how great it is. And there's one girl, her daughter calls me the candy lady. So she gets so excited when her mom buys for me because she knows that she's going to get some candy in the mail after that. Like it's little things like that that I don't think too much into, but obviously they do to make a trip and to bring their friend and to share that. Like I think it makes a huge, that's where the personal touch I think comes in.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I love that.
I love that too.
I used to have customers who would like send me pictures and be like, I was waiting for this pack of candy.
Yeah.
I'm like so excited.
I've had customers too say the same thing. And I actually had a customer call me out because I didn't deliver candy. And she's like, was kind of hoping I'd get some candy in my package. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that like you cared, you
Right,
know?
right.
But they do.
Yeah,
they love
they
it.
do.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. It really is like the little things that add up to be such big things
Yeah.
over time. So thank you, Chantel, so much for
Yes,
sharing
thank
that with
you.
us. That is great information.
You are a gift.
You are a gift. Okay. I'm gonna